Peugeot PX60.
Peugeot PX60.
Yeah,
Okay.
looks
so this
very
is a higher than the PX10 then?
No, it's just a slightly different version, and it has a triple front chain ring for touring, and the forks are slightly wider for fatter tires. Other than that, it looks very similar to a PX10.
Look at that chain ring. Totally drilled out.
Now, there's a story behind this one. The gentleman who sold this to me happened to have known the original owner, who was a Frenchman who migrated to the United States in the 70s. And apparently he was a machinist, so he did that machining himself.
I see.
But yeah, this one was not imported for sale like most Peugeots. This one actually was brought over by a former French citizen as his private collection.
Okay.
I don't know that that makes it any different of a bike than what Peugeot imported into the country, but that is how it got here.
Reynolds, right? Reynolds.
Yes, Reynolds
tubing.
531. And as you can see from the massive room on the fork, you could put probably 32, maybe even 35 centimeter tires. Gold-plated Mayfac brakes, gold-plated brake levers, chrome forks, a little bit of a chrome chainstay. And this is another one we've got for sale, in that I've got other touring bikes that work better, or other bikes that work better as road bikes. So this is kind of one that just doesn't fit a need. But
gorgeous.
Yeah, that gold finish just is really nice. Yeah, Peugeot makes great bikes. And then we have the leather handlebar wrap, but to get a little more padding here, we double wrapped it. But that same leather is underneath here, so if this is taken off, it just has the same nice appearance.
Awesome.
So there's the PX60. This is Tammy's Bianchi Limited. And obviously you can see we have an extremely tall neck stem here that she had made up, because the frame is probably actually a little too small for her. So with a usual frame, she was hunched over far too much, real uncomfortable for her to ride. But these bikes are kind of hard to find, so even though yes, it would be appropriate to find one in your size, when it comes to vintage bikes, that's not always the option. Sometimes you just have to buy the bike that's available and hope we can somehow make it fit. So that's what she did with this one.
And it's almost like in perfect condition. Look at that.
It's in very, very good shape.
And we picked that up off a guy that was just fixing up bikes in a garage down in
Is that right?
Yeah, Shimano 600. Yeah, he's kind of a hobby he has where he fixes up bikes and throws them on Craigslist. And he had probably, what do you think, 25, 30 bikes in his garage?
Easily.
Yeah.
And you got the Celeste
Celeste green,
green
yeah,
tires
stripe and Celeste green cabling. Again, I think the guys at Tour Nevada City did this for us. I believe the cabling was shot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because we
again, this is the short model Brooks, which she's pretty
it's a
fond of.
women's B17S or something like that.
Yeah. It's basic, but when it's so pretty, it doesn't look basic, right?
Yeah,
so
nice,
gorgeous.
Nice
well,
bike.
Just classy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one, another one of Tammy's bikes. This is a Schwinn Super Sport. I believe this is probably from like the mid to late 80s.
Yeah, it's mid-80s.
Mid-80s, and looks like we have Shimano 600 and Sinelli bars, clinchers. I'm not sure what tires are on this thing. Look pretty small. Probably 21s that don't look very big at all, but rides well, and kind of a nice.
There's something about the Shimano 600, the classic ones, it just looks so beautiful.
It does. Yeah.
It's indexed.
Yeah. The index shifters too.
Oh, right? It's
It'll be warmer where we're going to ride.
cooler. It's warmer down the hill.
Yeah. Nice Sella Italia saddle.
What do you guys put it back here? I've noticed all your
Our
classic bikes
flat
have them.
kits.
Is that right?
Yeah, our flat
Okay.
kits. She in particular is a flat magnet, and I have become so good at changing flats because I'm married to her.
Okay.
So yeah.
If there's a nail, I'll
Yeah,
find
she
it.
will find it.
Wow.
The Soma Pescadero touring bike, and it has a flat rear tire, so have to fix
It's
that.
probably because you're standing next to me.
But we both want to attempt some touring this
Yeah.
summer, and no better way to do it than something like this with all the bags. And again, this is one of those bikes that it looks like it probably weighs 100 pounds, but they're lighter than they look, quicker than they look. Very comfortable. I've done 1 century, and I did it on this bike. And by the time I got off, that was probably about 8.5 hours. I was still quite comfortable. It didn't feel like it had beaten me up.
And is that a Renee Hurst ring?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ten do you?
Let's see, 1.
11.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4.
With a really small.
I think there might be 11 or even 12. And it's a double. But this gentleman had this custom built per his specifications. I don't know that he ever even wrote it.
Okay.
Because when we got it, it looked like it had just rolled out of the factory.
Yeah.
So, very comfortable.
I guess on a modern
with the
bike,
bags.
he chose the bar and shifters too, which was
Yeah.
different.
The nice wide bars and just a very comfortable bike. I'm very happy with it.
I have a Surly that I think this is comparable, right? Maybe
yes.
the Surly may be a little bit more hard. The steel is a little bit more heavier, I think. But
Yeah.
it also had bar and shift.
Yeah, Soma and Surly, they both
Oh,
make
Surly
very,
do
very
okay.
comparable bikes. So that's one.
Another Soma.
Yes, this is her tour bike.
Yeah, we haven't had these out on a tour yet. We're getting there. We've been
Yeah.
kind of legging up for it.
So there's a Soma
Training
double
for it.
cross. This is
It's a lot
hers.
of cabbage.
And beautiful, beautiful orange and chrome and black. Shimano 105. Yeah, I'm probably going to go with some bigger tires on there for touring. That's a little on the small side, but she at least wanted to get used to the bike. But we put Soma racks front and back. And this is also the first bike she ever rode that had the Sella Anatomica seat, and she fell absolutely in love with it.
Yeah, that's a really comfortable.
Yeah, I think she
That
wants
is
to like
an
throw
amazing
out
seat.
every seat she owns and replace them all with these. She
Yeah.
just can't talk enough about these.
I have a red one and I love that too.
Yeah, we never even heard of this saddle, and then she saw it just,
And this one, I was trying to, so I'm getting another one. Which one is this again?
I don't know, babe. It's
I need
probably
the-
marked
I need the
underneath
T
somewhere.
series and I couldn't see.
Yeah, it's probably underneath. It probably says something. But this is one that was used at a bike shop, and she took a couple of her other bikes that she no longer wanted and basically did a trade.
Trade it? Yeah.
And I came home with something that she can use.
It looks roadworthy for sure.
yeah.
Look at that front wheel with the high flange.
Those hubs are so beautiful.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
Yeah, love those.
Classic.
Yeah.
Well, modern with a classic flair.
This is a Specialized Diverge.
Oh yeah.
Like with my Orbea Terra, when I switch wheels and tires, this is what we go riding on gravel roads with.
You get flat tires.
And yeah, this is where I've got a lot of practice changing her flats is on this bike.
So this is a 1x10, 1x11 setup.
This is a 1x13.
13? Oh, geez, okay.
Wow.
The gear ratio, I mean, once again, a Billy Goat. I can't believe
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, you could climb a
what
tree.
this thing can do.
But DT Swiss carbon rims. Just really
Why,
disc
this
brakes,
is
which are nice.
SRAM.
Yeah, she's been very happy with this bike, and clearly as dirty as it is, you can tell it gets used.
That's
Or
what
it
it's
doesn't
meant-
get washed when it
That's what it's meant to be.
Absolutely.
But I could make it a touring bike if I wanted. It's
Yeah,
got
they got some
because I
front lines.
consider
Yeah, it's got
touring on
some
this
areas to
because it's
attach
so
lugs.
light and quiet.
So, options. And we have one more thing we're actually a pair of bikes we'll show you.
Our orange outfit, we just really like they were in such good condition and they're matching boy and girl.
So this is the her half of our his and hers 1971 Schwinn orange varsities. And great story that came with these. These were originally purchased in 1971 by a married couple who owned them for a number of years and then at some point sold them and elected to only sell them to another married couple. And so when that couple sold them, they again decided to only sell them to a couple, and we found them. So we're going to continue the tradition when that day comes, and we're going to look for a married couple to sell them to. But these are in original condition. The saddles, fenders, Heuret speedometers, which actually work.
Yours has the generator light.
Yeah, mine also has generator lights on it. They ride surprisingly well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do weigh a ton. It's not a bike you're gonna throw into the back of your car by any means, but they're just a lot of fun to ride, and they get a lot of attention on the bike trail. Usually a big grin, or people are laughing, just wondering why are you riding those, but
We like to ride them on Halloween.
we enjoy them a great deal.
That's awesome. And there's that plastic speedometer.
Yeah,
That's crazy. You don't find those anymore.
no, here, and I'll go get the other
And
one.
his, right?
The men's version of the same bike,
Oh wow, that is amazing.
and this one has the fully functioning generator light and tail light, and the original Schwinn tool bag. Original Schwinn saddle, everything just in as perfect condition as you could expect being 1971.
Now, the thing that caught my eye was this bracing here, or it's seamless.
Yes.
They didn't start doing this with
Less.
TIG aluminum in the 80s and 90s with Cannondale, but this is the 70s for Schwinn.
It
And
hurts when you drop the seats on it.
And here's the dealership, Gateway Schwinn Cyclery. I'm not even sure what town
Yeah,
that is
so-
from, but
Well, we got it up in Portland, so it's probably Oregon.
and there was a young lady who contacted me. Somehow my name had got out that I collect vintage bikes, so she had one of these in terrible condition, but it still had this original bag. And she didn't want much for the bike, but we were able to determine that the bag alone was worth $100. Most,
wow.
yeah, 'cause they're so hard to find. So I think she probably threw the bike away and sold the bag. But
Yeah, that is just classic.
yeah,
And here's the Dynamo.
yeah, there's the generator light for the rear light, and again, as you well know, once you engage those, you might as well throw out an anchor. It just slows the bike down so badly.
Absolutely.
Great song.
And we're so glad technology is advanced, because if this is where it started, I don't imagine anybody really used these things.
Yeah, you just sit in your coffee chair, so forget it.
Yeah. But that's our pair of Schwinns, and now we can go back upstairs and show you our Mapeys.
Yeah. Oh,
that
I saw that.
C40.
Yes.